Welcome to 1323, and also welcome to the beginning of the problems that I had with my audio. So, we are going to be kind of speed running 1323 and possibly 1324 and maybe 25 as well, because I filmed quite a few years before I realized that there were issues with the audio. So we have come here. I continually get distracted by the kittens because they are adorable, but we have come here today to hang out with Michael and Millie and have them try one more time to have a baby and also to age up Shark and Dolphin. I will go ahead and spoiler alert that Michael and Mary do not get pregnant. So we grow up both not fish, oh my goodness, both dolphin and shark. And they both do look a lot like fish, which makes sense because fish is supposed to be their mother. So I needed Michael to come out and get one last hug with Shark before I aged him up, as I now know, but I didn't know it at the time. So after they aged up, I was playing and I noticed that when they stood next to each other, the two cats, these little hearts came above their head, and I was like, they're not technically related. So I need to find out if I'm playing with girls or boys. And so I did. Shark is a boy and Dolphin is a girl. I then decided I better go into Create a Sim just to confirm that I have a boy and a girl, and I do. And also to see if they're listed as siblings or litter mates or anything, and I couldn't find anything about them. I did notice while I was in here that not only do they have different eyes, but Dolphin is definitely fluffier than Shark is. So hopefully that will help me tell them apart. Also, I couldn't have a cat named Shark without putting this shark mask on her. On him. I kept getting distracted also by just all the animal clothes that they have in general. So I had to force myself to just leave. And then it's back to the main household. So I got back here to my main household because I have a lot happening over here on this day. I had 3 of our household aging up. So I came back over here. I got everything situated. I fixed the calendar issues that I was having. I just put an event on every single Saturday so that at least I can put my holidays on there, even though prom's happening. I can't go back and undo the prom. I haven't found a way to be able to cancel it, but I was at least able to do that. Also, we found out that Eve is pregnant, and so at the beginning of next year, 1324, she will be having a baby. Then it was time to go roll for everyone that was aging up. So first, Hugh was aging up to young adults, so only 2 numbers that we had to try to avoid, and he aged up fine. He got a good roll. Then we were rolling for Ethel. Ethel is going to be becoming a child, and she got a good roll. Then we had to roll for Hannah, who was becoming a toddler. And Hannah got a good roll. So everybody in our house gets to age up and I was so excited because it could have gone very badly. Then I get over here and I realize, wait, Daniel is older than Ethel. How is he still a toddler and she's about to become a kid? So I had to go back over and figure out what I had done wrong, and I just didn't move him up. Whenever he rolled to become a toddler, I just didn't move him. So we rolled for him to become a child, and he lived as well. So a very exciting day with so many people aging up. So first we go through and age everybody up. That was Daniel. Here is Ethel. Then I had Eve come in and age up baby Hannah. So now I only have one toddler since both of my toddlers aged up, although I finally got my redhead. Then we had to have Daddy Hugh age up, and he became a young adult. So after everybody aged up, we had to edit them all. There is baby Hannah. Then I did Daniel. I left his hair the way it was, but that's before and after for Daniel. And then it was time for Ethel before and after. I think I left her hair the same as well. Yes, I did. And I didn't really have to do anything to Hugh as far as his clothes went. I wanted to take a new picture, but I didn't want to have that acne all over the place. I did it anyway, but maybe I can wait and take another picture of him. Hopefully he won't die this year or before I can get another picture of him. So that was it, and that was a very productive day. We had 4 people age up without dying, and Eve is pregnant. Then, moving right into Wednesday, I went over to Mary's house to have them try for a baby. She did not get pregnant. Also, Millie did not get pregnant, but Adrian needs to age up. He is an adult. He's going to be becoming an adult, and so he had to roll anything higher than a 6. Or 6 or higher, and he got a good roll, barely. So then I get to go back and age up Adrian. And Mary's little family is going to be stuck like this for a little bit longer. She'll get to try again in a couple of days to get pregnant. Then, back at our house, the only thing that really happened on Thursday is that Eve tried to repair some stuff and do some magic out here, and she started another fire. I mean, thankfully, the clothes were wet enough, I guess. I don't know what happened, but the fire kind of put itself out pretty quickly, which was nice. The other thing that was happening this day, on the last day of 1323, is that Beatrice is moving out. And I had originally said she was going to move in with Cooper at the church. But actually, I'm having her move in with Sister Terry at the cemetery. And yes, I did name her Terry because she works at the cemetery. Anyway, she and Beatrice are going to be like nuns, kind of, that are in charge of this orphanage. And these are the 2 boys who live at their orphanage right now. And yes, the orphanage is on the same grounds as the cemetery because I needed somebody to live there. So these orphans are going to be here. And I might age them up and bring in new kids. I may just keep them like they are and change their names periodically. I have no idea. But right now, this is what I have going on, is that the Beatrice lives here with Sister Terry and the boys, and they kind of take care of the cemetery. They help out the community and do things around the neighborhood. And that's about it. I wanted her to be in a different place than Cooper, and I also needed a way for us to get our tombstones to the cemetery. Someone offered this as a suggestion in one of their comments, and I was like, oh, I'm definitely going to do that. So it's worked out well so far, and that's where we moved to Beatrice. And that is the end of 1323. We're going to just jump right in to 1324 because it also has no sound. Our first stop is to Mary and Adrian's house to try for a baby, but I have to get both toddlers to come out of the house so that they will actually try for a baby because there's no wall in their bedroom. So I was just getting the toddlers out so we could try for a baby. Then it was over to Michael and Millie's house to have them try for a baby. Mary, of course, got pregnant, and Millie, of course, did not. Now we are back at our main household, and Eve is in her 3rd trimester, and she is set to give birth just any time. We're just living our normal life over here. Eve is working on her cooking skill because this is our last year with Grace. So we really need to make sure that Eve will be able to step in and do a lot of the cooking and stuff that we're going to miss when Grace is gone. We had a precious moment where Grace and Eve came in and actually started cooking together. It was so cute. I am really going to miss this family, although I am looking forward to playing less Sims in my household in general, although it's not really going to be less because we're having a baby. We were also finally able to hatch eggs, so Bernard came out here and hatched some eggs for us.
Oh, naps a cheap.
Then Eve went into labor.
Speedo? Yeah, fruit.
Oh, discoofa.
It was a boy, and we named him John. So now, if he lives, we have another heir. Then it was time to go roll for everybody.
Oh, maybe. Pomadi, Sabini. What a term.
So the first roll, as always, is for the mother, and Eve just barely made it, and the baby made it. So I need to go add his birthday in when he will be aging up to a toddler, and then we are good to go. The other big event for this year is that I took Eve to the magic realm using the magic stone that she has. I don't know what it's called. I forgot. But I have never been to the magic realm, and I wasn't sure what would happen or even how you could do it. And all of a sudden, it just took me there. I wanted to complete her milestone, but at the same time, I had never been to the magic realm. I didn't know anything about it. So I didn't do a ton of stuff. I just spent some time like going to the different areas that are in here because I didn't know that they existed. Like I said, I've never done this before. So it was just nice to walk around and explore and see what the magic realm was all about. I didn't even know if things were lights or if they were magical in some kind of way. So I just explored, and I had more fun than Eve did because she probably had been there before, but it was my first time. Eve got back while it was still dark and everyone was still asleep, and then we just had a regular harvest day where everybody needed to come out and interact with the plants in some kind of way in order to be able to fulfill that want for the holiday. So it was nice to just have everybody out in the garden on harvest day. We had such a sweet moment where Ethel was out here crocheting or knitting, and Grace was sitting with her, and Ethel is loving the knitting. She's doing such a good job with it. She's knitted, the cool clothes for our llama and all kinds of stuff, and so it's been really cool having her have a hobby that she can do like that. Okay, on our way to visit Mary's household because we have so many people to age up today, I came over to do the rolls. So Frey, who is Mary's son, was aging up to become a child. And then Mary, Michael, and Cooper. So this is for Frey. He got a good roll, so he gets to live. Then we had to roll for Mary, Michael, and Cooper. They're all becoming young adults, sorry. Here's Mary's roll. It was good. And Michael's roll, also good. And Cooper's roll, good. So all of them get to become young adults. First, I went to Michael's house to age him up and also try one last time for them to get pregnant. Now, this is the time that I said if they didn't get pregnant on their 8th try, that I would force a pregnancy. And that is exactly what had to happen. They did not get pregnant, although, Shark and Dolphin are just loving on each other, and I don't know how to make them get pregnant, but I would love it if that happened, if we could somehow get Dolphin pregnant. So the bad news is I had to force Millie to get pregnant. The good news is Millie's pregnant. And I was going to roll a dice, like even or odds, as to whether or not she was having a boy or a girl. And it turns out that when you get somebody pregnant, which I've never done before, it actually has them already, it lets you leave it random and have them decide whether it's a boy or a girl, like the Sims game. So that's what I did. And then it was time to go over to Mary's house and age her up so that she could now be a young adult. However, I discovered that since Mary is pregnant, she cannot be aged up, but Frey can. So I aged Frey up to be a child, and we had already done the rolls for everybody, so we didn't have to worry about that. But Mary's baby is due tomorrow, so we will come. Oh, there he goes. So Mary's baby is due tomorrow, so we'll come back tomorrow and age her up after she has the baby. But first, let's fix Frey's clothes. There he is. There is our Frey. It's Mary's heir, and he will continue to live in the family house as he ages up. And then lastly, we had to come over to the church to age up Cooper. And that was it. We got our triplets all aged up and Frey all aged up, and the year is almost over. Back at the house, we have an adorable moment with Hugh and little Hannah. She just sits up here with her daddy and they just chat for a little while, and it was really cute. A nice photo opportunity for me as well.
Strobospheric?
As soon as I got to Mary's house, I realized that I had somehow missed the birth. She had already had the baby, and I didn't know about it. They auto-named this baby, and so I will definitely be changing his name. It's got to start with a K, so for a while, I just call him Baby K because I have no idea what we're eventually going to call him. And so now I've got to go over and do the roles for Mary and the baby. I'm also realizing right now that I just went ahead and aged Mary up because I had already rolled for her birthday. And then I did not stop and go roll for baby Kay and Mary. So they both got a free pass through pregnancy and through being a baby. Well, that's it. I came back to my regular house to get everybody ready for bed. I did have Eve and Hugh try for a baby one more time, and it looks like she's pregnant. I haven't checked the MCC thing, but she has throw up as an option in the toilet. So we're going to say Eve is pregnant and move in to 1325, which might be the saddest year that we've ever had so far because our Grace is going to die right at the beginning. That is coming up right now because it also did not have any sound. It's also the last one that didn't have any sound. So I'll be right back with the next year. Welcome to 1325. Our Grace has been sick in bed and nobody really knows what's going on. So everyone is coming in to check on her because Edmund thinks that she's probably about to die. Later, she felt good enough to come sit outside for just a little bit, but that is when she died. One last shot of Grace.
Show.
Then everyone came out and saw that she had died, and Grim showed up, and he left us with her tombstone. just after this is when I decided that I wanted to play with groups to keep our Miller people all together and to make it easier to invite people to things. So I created the Miller men and the Miller women, and Hugh is the leader of the Miller men and Eve is the leader of the Miller women. And I think that it's just going to make it easier to do family functions or any kind of get-togethers. I think it's going to make it a lot easier. Also, like this day wasn't already sad enough, our llama died. And what I talked about in this episode that you're not going to get to hear is that this is the cutest llama. Anyway, I said that I'm not going to replace the animals in here because I got a mod that lets me have them without the building. So just the little thing of feed, just the little hay thing is all I need now. So once the cow passes away as well, I'll just redo this whole area and not have llamas and cows. I may only use cows going forward because we have plenty of wool and we're not using it very often. So the milk, I think, is more important for us than the wool right now. So I spent most of the day getting everything around the house ready and good without Grace here. And then it was time for Eve's birthday. So Eve was going to be becoming an adult. And she was a little older than Hugh when they met. And so I rolled for her to become an adult. And she got a good roll. She is also pregnant for sure. So I wasn't sure if it would let me age her up or not. And it didn't. So she will get to age up after she gives birth to the baby. Then it was time to head over to Michael and Millie's house because Millie was in labor. As soon as I got to her house, it said in labor. So she goes immediately in to have the baby. And it's a boy. So I decided to name him Leo. I needed an L name, and I just thought that was cute. So baby Leo. Then we had to go do the rolls. So the first roll is for Millie, not a 1, good. And the second roll is for Leo, and it is a 1, and Leo has to die. I was so sad about this because I forced Millie and Michael to get pregnant because they tried 8 times and they never got pregnant. And so I forced the pregnancy and they had baby Leo and he passed away. And it just made me so sad because I was like, I did this to them. Like I forced this on them. So anyway, Michael and Millie lost baby Leo and now they don't have any more children and any more tries for children. As soon as I got back to my house, the brown cow was dying. So Hugh has just lost a lot of people recently in his life, and so have I. So I've lost a lot of Sims recently. And so I'm like, we need to fix this. So I decide to overhaul the animal area now that we don't have any animals anymore. Also, in addition to this mod that gives me the different look for the animal sheds, it also gives us more animals. So I got a sheep this time, and then I just got 3 cows. We have enough people to take care of all of these animals and still take care of the garden farm. So that's just what I decided to do this time. While everyone is outside taking care of our new animals, Eve is going to age up baby John. It is time for him to become a toddler.
Yatta boo!
He's fussy. And he has blonde hair. I complained a lot about this blonde hair because I really wanted a redheaded heir, and he has blonde hair. But we need to go roll to make sure he ages up into a toddler without any issues. So we only have 3 numbers to avoid, and we did. So he gets to age up with no issues. So here is our baby John with his freckles and his dark, dark eyes like his mom. And it's a good thing we got him aged up and got the baby bed empty because Eve has gone into labor. And it's another boy. So we need an M name. So we're going to name him Michael. And then we have to go over and roll for everyone.
Pomadi Sabini.
So first we roll for Eve, anything but a 1. Y'all. Eve just died in childbirth. But we still have to roll for Michael. And Michael lives. So I waited until that night and just decided that there were just complications in the pregnancy or in the birth. And she lived for just a little while after the baby was born and then she died.
Yeah. Anapreb?
Even the ghost of Grace showed up to mourn for Eve. And I didn't realize that she would have a different kind of tombstone because she's magical. So anyway, it doesn't change anything. It just looks kind of cool that she has a different kind of tombstone. But everybody is just devastated from the loss of Grace and now Eve. And poor Hugh has got 2 toddlers and a newborn. And his dad is the only person around to help him. And so things are just not going well for our family right now. So Bernard and Beatrice need to age up, and that means Bernard is going to be getting married. And so I have to roll to see how many children they are going to have. So I'm rolling a D12, and if it is a 1, they don't have any children, and then whatever is on there is how many tries they get. So 4 tries for Bernard and Olive. So I had Bernard travel over to Mary's house. He's got to knock on the door and get them to let him in. But he is there to help. Well, he's there so that I can raise up Gwendolyn. I've already done the rolls for Gwendolyn. She's a toddler. She's becoming a child, and she passed her rolls fine. Bernard and Beatrice also passed their rolls. They don't have to actually age up because they're staying teenagers, but they passed the rolls to stay teenagers. So I then had Bernard go over to what will be his house with Olive, and I just kind of set up some things. I moved around some things and did a little bit of editing, and then just had them hang out together for the day. The most exciting thing that happened was that I didn't know that mess around in the bush meant woohoo in the bush. So I was freaked out that I had them woohoo before they got married. Although apparently that's not as big of a deal as I thought it was. Anyway, the worst part was right here where his brother Michael came by and saw them in there and just laughed about it. That was really funny to me. So anyway, not only did Bernard go over and I guess accidentally woohoo with Olive before they were married, but Michael saw them caught by his older brother. Hilarious. Okay, so one of the things that I wanted to show you when we got to 1325 is what the family tree looks like. So this is the tree. What you will notice is everybody who has blue and orange on them or their faces are men and women, boys and girls, who are still alive. Everybody who has a picture has passed away. So I have all of the children from our very first Sebastian Miller all the way down to Ethel Miller, all of the 19 kids that Edmund and Grace Miller had, which, as you just saw, I will be changing this since Grace just passed away. But this is what the beginning of 1325 looked like. And then at the beginning of 1335, we will check back in. So I just thought every 10 years we look at the pictures on the 0 years. And so I thought every 10 years on the 5 years, we would just take a look at our family tree. So right now, let me zoom in here. We had all 4 of these children who passed away, leaving Hugh. I can't believe 3 of them were boys, but anyway, leaving Hugh as our heir. And then Hugh has married Eve, who has also passed away. And they now have 4 children. I will be adding baby Michael in there, who was just born. And they have only lost Sebastian so far. So Hannah, John, and Michael, they have those 3 still alive. Then here's Adrian and Mary. Mary has these 4 babies, and she gets one more try to have one more kid, which we will probably do next year at the beginning of 1326. We'll give her her last try. Michael and Millie had 8 tries to get pregnant, and they never did, except the one time that I forced them to, and they lost the baby. So I will be adding baby Leo in here, who passed away. Then we have Cooper, who is never getting married. And then we had all of these babies that we lost here, and then our toddler Solomon, all the way down to Bernard and Beatrice, the twins. Bernard will be getting married and trying 4 times to have babies. That will be changed when we come back here in 10 years. And Beatrice is never getting married. I think actually she's coming back home to help Hugh, but we will figure that out. Then we have Clara and Daniel and Ethel, and we lost baby Edmund. So they're the only kids left in our house from the original 2nd generation. And that means that our 3rd generation, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 children, 9 kids that were born, even though 3 of them have died. So we have 6 living children for our 3rd generation. So I am really excited about that. So what's going to happen is if Hugh, if he loses all 3 of his children, John is our heir, followed by Michael, baby Michael, and then Hannah's husband. But if for some reason Hugh loses all 3 of his children, it would go to Michael, who does not have any children. Then it would go to Cooper, who does not have any children. And then it would go to Bernard, who hopefully will have some children. Now, what I could do is I could get Cooper to, I could get Michael, and because your heir doesn't follow the same rules of rolling, so Michael and Millie could become our new heir family, and they would just try for a baby every day like they're supposed to do if they're the heir family and not a side family. And that is probably what I will do, because I don't want to just keep having to go down the line when technically Michael should be the heir, so he will follow the heir rules. So that doesn't really matter, because I feel like Hannah, John, and Michael, at least one of them will become a teenager and be able to get married and have children. So hopefully. But that's the way our line of succession goes, to hand it down all the way down till we get to Daniel is our last boy. Then once all the boys are gone, we come back up here to Mary, and Mary's got 2 boys right now. So that's how it would work. So anyway, our Miller family would be completely died out, and we would be the Clark family after that. But we will have to wait and see what happens. So I will see you guys in 1326. Bye.